Welcome back to Joe Stunner Boxing. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. Trying to build up a nice little mini boxing community here. Any support you can give the channel, spread the word, get all your friends to subscribe. I mean, I'd really appreciate it. Channel's still pretty new, but you know, we're growing slowly but surely. So any support you can give us is fantastic. Thank you for that. Today's video, now I've just watched an interview with Anthony Joshua. You may well have seen it already. It's over an hour long. It's on IFL TV. Kugan Cassius interviewed AJ. And I almost held out from doing this video because there's so much for me to digest, or for anyone to digest, reading between the lines of what was said. But I thought, no, I'll do a video just because I think sometimes it's good to just sort of capture your first impressions, you know. But it was one of the oddest videos, one of the oddest interviews. In fact, the oddest interview I think I've ever seen AJ give. He was extremely contradictory on a number of issues, talked in, I'll stop short of saying he talked in riddles, but he talked in a way that was very uncharacteristic compared to what we've seen previously, and appeared at times to be, I'm tempted to say, almost talking to himself, almost trying to beef himself up, almost trying to instill some sort of self-belief, willing himself into having insight without really fully having it. Maybe I'm not making much sense, but to be honest with you, that's probably because a lot of what AJ said struck me as being really, really strange and didn't seem to be making a lot of sense itself. But let me explain a few things. For example, he said, I defer tactics for fight night to my team, which seems to imply that he doesn't pay a lot of attention to the game plan. It's just, well, that's for my coaching team. That's for Rob McCracken. They tell me what to do. I'm a product of what they tell me, of what I learn in the gyms. And yet at the same time, he's talking about, well, I'm going to go to war next time. I'm going to go to war with Usyk. I'm going to go back to the old AJ. Okay. So if he defers to his team, and if the tactics are not his doing, if he is literally just the man that puts it into practice, why has he been doing this little tour of America? And it's almost like a buffet of different trainers. Why has he been trying out a few things with Eddie Reynoso and then Virgil Hunter? And you know, clearly he's looking for something. Clearly he's looking for some other angle, for some sort of new knowledge, for some different training methods, which would contradict simply saying, well, they tell me what to do and I go and do it. At times he seemed desperate to come across as almost like, hey, enough's enough. I've learnt enough. It's time for war now. Which again would contradict expressing a desire to learn new things. But it was almost like he was saying, listen, you know, I may have been the corporate AJ in the past, but in actual fact, I'm a tough guy. I'm a street guy. And he mentioned, I think, a few villains or whatever the hell you want to call them, gangsters, whatever. I don't know what you call them nowadays. We used to call them villains back in the day, but you know, those are the guys I looked up to. I never looked up to sports people when I was young. You know, he seemed to be desperately trying to project an image that was one of, I'm a tough guy, I'm here, I'm coming to war. Yeah, just very, very strange. Now, perhaps I haven't made a great deal of sense well, you know, during this video, but Why is all of this confusion? And that's what it struck me as being, confusion, especially the last 5 minutes of the interview. Watch the interview. It's over an hour long, but AJ goes into this almost stream of consciousness where he really, he's unblinking, and he talks about, I won't say any more. You go and watch it. See, you'll see what I mean. The last 5 minutes, just before they wrap it up. But okay, why is there all this confusion? Why is he contradicting himself? Well, I have a theory about this, which I'd like to share with you, and you give me your feedback. Let's look at this guy's career. He's an Olympic gold medalist. He didn't have an extensive amateur career, but he won the Olympic gold medal. He then turns professional under the biggest spotlight possible. Sky Sports, Matchroom, they did a fantastic job with him. He became a world champ early on in his career. He then fought back-to-back, leading guys. Actually, before he won the world title, he fought Dillian White for the British title. He knocked him out. So there's been this colossal amount of pressure on this guy for, 6, 7, 8 years. And it seems to me, I could be wrong about this, but it seems to me that with the defeat to Usyk, the pressure is finally, it's too much. It's pushed down on him, and he feels the need to do something to lash out, to stop being the corporate-minded PC AJ, and to try and say, look, I've been doing this for all these years. I've been taking on everyone. I've been fighting everyone, and I've lost twice, and I'm pissed off about it, and I'm sick of people saying things about me, when all I've done is try and do the very best, and I've done my best, damn it. And this seems like the pressure has really got on top of him. The pressure of being the Anthony Joshua has finally got on top of him, to the point where he now wants to be whoever he is, the real AJ, the real Anthony Joshua. Not Anthony Joshua, the superstar boxer, the guy who sells out stadiums, the guy who's, who goes on talk shows, the guy who's in the public eye. I want to be the real me now. And I almost get the feeling that it's been so long he's forgotten what that is. I could be wrong about this, but my impression is that he's searching for something, and he doesn't quite know what it is. Hence the contradictory comments. 1 minute he's laughing and joking with Coogan, and the next minute he's deadly serious, and he's talking like almost like he wants to project the image of being a street guy. Yeah, very, very odd. Very odd interview indeed. And like I say, I almost held off from doing this video because I wanted to digest what had been said more. But I thought, no, I'm going to do a video straight away, because I suppose this is my own stream of consciousness. Tell me what you think. Have a look at that video, and you tell me what you think, because I think it's fascinating stuff. Especially that last 5 minutes. Have a look at that last 5 minutes. Very, very, very interesting. Another thing is, Wilder was mentioned and Fury was mentioned, and his attitude seemed to be, he didn't trash talk either of them, but he did make a couple of sort of intriguing sort of nods towards the fact that Fury has, at last he stepped up and made a defence of his title. Wow, I've done however many, 8, 9, 10, whatever it is. And Wilder, he made comments about Wilder's previous opponents, how he'd have starched them all, which he probably would have done. Wilder's resume is very thin. And again, that seemed to imply, well, I'm not getting enough credit, and I'm sick of it. Yeah. And also his language. He was swearing quite a bit as well, a bit of profanity there. The F word was flying around a bit, and That's interesting as well. That's not really AJ, is it, normally? Or the AJ that we've been brought up with or brought to know. That was a bit out of the character that we know, we think we know. Almost like he was saying, hang on a minute, this is the real me. But again, has he forgotten what the real Anthony Joshua is? Who the real Anthony Joshua is? I don't know. All of this is pure conjecture. I think it's fascinating stuff, though. Watch that video, see what you think, and let me know your comments down below. Yeah, I'm a big AJ fan, by the way. Also, Usyk, the rematch with Usyk. I don't know. I don't think Joshua is daft enough to think that he can put it on Usyk psychologically. Usyk's too strong, mentally strong. Why wouldn't he be mentally strong? He's proven everything. So none of that psychological stuff's going to work with Usyk at all. I don't think he was doing it because of that. I think he was doing it for himself. I think a huge chunk of that interview, if not all of it, was Anthony Joshua talking to Anthony Joshua. But anyway, let me know what you think. Very interesting. And yeah, like I say, subscribe to the channel, spread the word for the channel. I'd like to build it up so we've got a nice little community going. I ain't going to make any money out of this channel. I'm not interested. I only started out to connect with other boxing fans. So I'm really interested to hear what you think. And yeah, thanks for listening, and leave your comments below and take care of yourself. Bye-bye.